to her and all that good stuff. And I find out everybody's like, "Oh my God, Piccolo hit the gong!" And it's just now when you think about it, it's like, yeah, it's a video game scepter. But I mean, it was hours and weeks of work, hard work to get this. And I mean, even to this day, you can tell it bothers me a little bit.
Nice.
But no, it was, I mean, we talked to them after the fact, and it was cool. I mean, it was part of the history of Illidan, and it was fun. And like I said, we talked, and we actually had a couple beers. So we're good. If I see him on the streets, he's safe.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun meeting those guys that year at BlizzCon. I remember initially speaking with Piccolo. He was well, actually after the fact, he was a little reserved meeting us. Like it was like him and Rhombus and a couple of the guys. And then they just see like this mob of BL and BL shirts, and then I think I brought up the gong, and then he just sort of like he's like like how are they gonna react to this, but it was
Yeah.
cool. It was good times. It was a lot of fun meeting those guys. It was nice to have Aries and Rhombus, like Piccolo, all those guys together. All that was missing from the pie was really John. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Wow,
And
just noticed Fury's in the channel.
yeah,
Yeah,
Fury.
Fury,
Yeah,
that
Fury's
guy.
been Fury started stalking the stream
Oh,
after
oh
my interview with Rig, or during my interview with
man,
Rig. So he's
that
been.
guy. Let me tell you about that
Tell us
guy.
about that
Oh
guy.
my God. Look, no, that he is a pretty cool dude. I always got along with him, but I guess he annoyed other people. I don't know. Like I said, he was pretty cool, and I mean, he was one of the originals back in the day. I guess when I left, he turned into a prick or something. I don't know, but yeah, Fury, freaking, what was that playlist? Uh, the whole Nader crew, Latif Nader, and I think it was like Shaman or
That's
something like
Super
that.
Nader.
Yeah, Super Nader now. Uh, yeah, just bringing back memories. I'm sorry. So we were talking about Ankraj and what else?
Yeah, just sort of. What did you think of that experience? Like basically, there really hasn't been anything that extravagant in the game where it takes so much effort by so many people to essentially release content, and it's like a timer to release content. Everything had to be funneled into one person, and one
Hmm.
person went on this epic quest line to, open these gates. What did you think of that? Do you wish they did more of that? Do you not like the fact that they did that?
That
Um,
was the dumbest thing they could have ever done in the
really?
history of WoW. I mean, literally, that was okay. Let's think about it on a couple of ways. First of all,
Right.
um, when in regards to a race, right? I mean, how are you really going to do a PvE race when you're starting when it's like whoever has the most on the server is pretty much or organized on the server is going to be the server that gets there first. It's kind of like an exaggerated um an exaggerated version of Europeans versus US. I guess we get it a day early or something like that. Imagine if we got content 2 weeks early. I mean, it's silly.
Right.
And just the whole grind. I mean, people were burnt out. I mean, I think the grind was not a good idea. I think maybe if they would have incorporated something like that, like maybe a quest, like the questing was kind of cool, but maybe they couldn't turn it in till this day. I don't know. I just thought the whole server grind. So think about it like this. If the server didn't get together, there were some servers that I think was 2 months or something. It took them 2 months to open it up. I mean,
Yeah.
after everybody had it, I don't know. As you can tell, I was not a fan. I did not like it, and I think it could have possibly had a good amount of people quit because of that grind.
Mm.
That was probably the worst grind I've ever had. I mean, I've ever experienced in WoW. I don't know what you guys think, but that was a pretty bad grind.
I think the only thing that I remember being similar to that was during the Sunwell, where there you had to like do all these dailies. X amount of dailies on the server would unlock the next set of dailies, and it would ultimately lead you to getting epic gems with badges or something like that. And Illidan was one of the top servers to unlock it. But then the last quest, the last daily quest you had to do to unlock, wasn't actually one that you do on the island. You had to go somewhere else, and nobody on the server did it. We're like one of the highest population servers, and we were like second to last to finish. Uh, yeah, I mean they've experimented with that thing. I think nothing has really lived up to the epicness of AQ, and especially me, while being my first MMO, well, real MMO, I'd say lineage 2 doesn't count. Um, Seeing that
I,
type of stuff where you're sort of so many people are supporting one guy to sort of get through. Like the only thing I can think of is like EQ when they had to unlock the dragons or something. Again, I
right.
didn't
Well,
play.
see, I'm a fan of that. I am a
Right.
fan of individual guilds unlocking their ability to do things. For example, if any, I believe all these people in here are like young bucks and don't know what EQ is, but for those for those who do, Plane of Power, I mean, you had to unlock like the first tier, then you'd unlock the second tier, and it wasn't server, it was your guild. If you killed X boss, then you could go to Y, Z, and A or whatever other letters you want to put in there, and then it opens up different tier. I mean, I'm a big fan of that because that means that, for example, right now you have Dragon Soul. Everybody has Dragon Soul. They nerfed it, blah blah blah. I mean, everybody does Dragon Soul, and it's just 8 bosses. You get it out of the way in a day, and you're done. But in the system that I would be a fan of, I mean, there's some guilds that are on the first tier that there's maybe 4 or 5 bosses there. Then there's some guilds that are gearing themselves in the second tier, and then you got uh, your your extreme guilds, BLs of the world, that are up competing against in the top tier. Which, I mean, eventually everybody will get there, but it's just a gear slash skill. Um, I don't know that I'm a fan of that. What EQ did with that more than just opening everything up. Because in the race isn't just who can get to the last boss. It's more like who can be efficient with their time and map the bosses out so that I don't know. I haven't thought it out. I just thought about it right now, and I'm just talking and going on and on about it.
No, it's good. It's good to get your take on all that. So obviously you were there from the beginning, year one of WoW. Really, when it was sort of almost like the frontier of the game, almost like the Wild West of WoW, because now it's so things are much more organized with how the game is structured. Things are sort of there's like, oh, are you hardcore? Are you just casual? Are you just playing for fun? Whatever. Like they've really sort of created cabinets to the closet, um, and so you pretty much just you played all of vanilla, and then you sort of had to sort of take. You weren't able to put as much time into the game as you
Right.
wanted. Tell us about sort of what was happening in your life at that time, and
Can we talk about Nax first?
oh sure, tell us about next.
Dude, Nax was Nax, and I've said it before in the guild forums. Nax is the most important instance for Blood Legion. It was where we figured out we could not only be a top guild in the server, but a top guild in the world. Um, we got, I think it was, oh man, I don't even remember, but it was like Saffron. There was another guild that got Saffron before us, but then they were banned for exploiting or something like that. I looked
Overrated.
up, yeah, but I looked up, what is that website now that tracks everything? MMO something online, and it didn't reflect what I was saying. So I don't know if it was just their information back then is wrong. But
I think what
anyways,
happened was, well, well, it was basically um, with the whole overrated thing. We got Kel'Thuzad second in the U.S.
that's
for
what it is.
Horde, behind
Right,
Overrated, and then
right.
Overrated got banned for essentially hacking the game to skip content in AQ. But that's like a different thing altogether. But yeah,
You sure? Because it was at the same time.
What do you mean?
Anyways,
Yeah.
anyways,
Anyway, go on.
but that was the point where we were competing against, guys who were horde first or firsts in the US, and that's where we kind of said, you know what, I think we got this, and that was the most, other than Molten Core, because of course that was the first one. That was the most the BL got out of an instance for themselves, and where it would show where they were going, because in the next expansion, I mean, they did extremely well and they kept going from there. But um, to answer the question, I think at that time I was getting out of the Marine Corps. I was having my baby girl. I was having my first child, and I had to pretty much get a job. The Marine Corps was fun, but I mean, it was like, I mean, it's more of, I mean, you have a lot of time to do what you need to do in the Marine Corps. So, um, yeah, I got out. I had to start working, and I just didn't have the time. I did have time, I just didn't have the time I needed to. So, even though I was on, I would have to sit because I'm about leading by example, and I don't see how fair it would be for me to kick somebody from a raid when I'm showing up 2, 3 times a week, and this guy is coming 6 times a week. So because I wouldn't do something like that, I decided it was time to get going, and I did. I came back a little bit for BC, did some raiding with you guys when things were already dead. Lich King, I missed the entire expansion, even though uh, I missed Illidan, even though that's my favorite guy. That's all I
Yeah, you
wanted to
did.
say. But missed him, missed all of Lich King, or all of yeah, that expansion, and then came back for Dragon Soul. Um, I went to my first BlizzCon 2009, 10, 2010.
2010. Yeah.
Went to my first BlizzCon 2010, met all these guys, and got the fever and
Got the
got back
fever.
on. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
BlizzCon
And
does that too.
literally leveled. Now I have like 485s with the item level of like anywhere from 85 to 99. So I mean, I'm still retired, but I mean, I get my gaming on.
Yeah, you're definitely you still have a presence in alt raids and things like that. That's for sure. Did you ever get to kill Illidan? Either did you ever? Did anyone ever take you to Black Temple?
Nope, never.
We're gonna have to do that, buddy. We're gonna have to take you to Black Temple and show you
We'll
we'll kill
we'll
Illidan for you.
we'll cap some. What was it? 70s?
You want to
Fif-
level a 70 then go make a fresh raid of 70s?
That's work.
It can be too much work, yeah. But yeah, so playing from back then to now, um, how do you, what's your take on all the changes? Obviously, you weren't like neck deep in all the stuff. You weren't neck deep in all the stuff all this whole time, but sort of obviously playing so much in vanilla, and you've been playing a lot more now, especially. What's your take on sort of how much things have changed?
Um, I think they changed for the better. I mean, Encourage's fail, in my opinion. Some might have liked it. Um, you'll see. There's Lola just coming in. Anyways, uh, but I think, I mean, I like, again, I skipped um BC for the most part, and the Lich King expansion. And when I came back for Dragon Soul, man, I mean, I didn't know what the heck I was doing because the game was so different, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I think that, other than my idea with the multi-tiered, accomplish.
He just saw it. That's great.
I just saw she did that in your
Yeah,
stream.
I was like, this is gonna be hilarious. She's gonna all of a sudden appear as you're talking.
Okay, so I forgot what I was saying. Good job. But man, what was I saying?
You're talking about how things are better now, multi-tiered.
Oh yeah, yeah. Other than the the guild type